In this video we're going to look at home networking for home automation. Now the video is intended for complete beginners, for someone just starting out and they're thinking of buying a smart light, a smart plug, a smart socket, etc. And they want to know whether this smart plug, smart socket will work with their existing network, what else they need to buy to make this work on their existing network. Now if you go over to Amazon and you search for a smart socket, for example, you'll get lots of different results, and as you scroll down them, really you need to ask it, what's the difference between these products? Will these work on my existing home network? Do I need to buy anything else to make them work? How do I control them? Most of them are controlled by smartphones, but that doesn't mean you don't need to buy anything else to control them with the smartphone. And so in this video I want to talk to you about basic networking and the different types of networking protocols and systems that are available, so you can make better choices when choosing products for your home network. If we go back to the slides, and here's a little diagram of a typical home network as it currently stands for connecting to the internet, surfing the web. And we've got a wireless router here which functions as a wireless access point, and it connects your home network off to the internet, and you connect to this with laptops and smartphones, tablets, etc. Logically you would expect the smart home devices that you buy on Amazon or eBay or whatever, like light switches, smart plugs, etc., would all use Wi-Fi, and they would just plug into the existing home network. However, that's not the case, and it's not the case because Wi-Fi uses a lot of power, and in the early days it was considered unsuitable for many smart home applications that required low power and battery operation. Examples are outside sensors, temperature sensors, things like that would work off a battery. So early smart home networks used either Z-Wave, which is a standard networking protocol, or Zigbee, which is another standard, or they use proprietary protocols. So if you were looking at building a smart home network several years ago, then really you would be using Z-Wave, Zigbee or proprietary protocols. However, the current trend is to move towards Wi-Fi. So the current trend is to have devices that plug straight into your existing Wi-Fi network. Now, as I just said, first home automation devices use Z-Wave or Zigbee wireless technologies predominantly. These technologies don't use Wi-Fi, so they're not Wi-Fi compatible, and they don't use TCP/IP, hence they don't have an IP address. That means you can't connect Zigbee or Z-Wave devices directly into a Wi-Fi or TCP/IP network, and that means you can't connect them to the internet. Now, to be smart, they need really to be controllable from across the internet, which means they do need to connect into a Wi-Fi and TCP/IP based network. And to do that you'll need some kind of gateway or hub. If you look at a typical mixed Zigbee, Z-Wave or proprietary network, then you'll find that you've got these devices, say Z-Wave devices, they need a hub so they can talk to each other. Now if they want to talk to the Wi-Fi network and hence out onto the internet, then they need also a gateway. So that brings us on to hubs and gateways, and generally the terms are used interchangeably. However, there is a difference. A hub connects devices together that use a common protocol. For example, we can have a Z-Wave hub that connects Z-Wave devices together, whereas a gateway connects devices together that use different protocols. So you need a gateway to connect a Z-Wave network to a Wi-Fi network, or a Z-Wave network to a Zigbee network. Now, as an analogy, you consider a protocol to be like a language, which it effectively is. So we got English, then a gateway does a translation job. I translate between English and French. So you have an English network and a French network, and a gateway connects between the two. So you need to pay attention when you're looking at these devices, and if you've got, for example, a Z-Wave hub that's connecting your Z-Wave devices together, then to connect that off to a Wi-Fi network you'll need to replace that with a gateway or add a gateway additionally. To finish off, some quick tips to help you a bit. When searching for smart home devices, you must pay particular attention to the networking protocol they're using. It's not actually obvious, so you really need to look into the details of them. Now try to standardize on a networking protocol. I'm trying to standardize on Wi-Fi, and that's not always possible, because if you've got some kind of application, example a garage door opener or something like that, you'll probably find you can't get a Wi-Fi device currently to do that. You'd have to go off to and get a Zigbee or a Z-Wave device. Now just because a device can be controlled via a smartphone, it doesn't actually mean that it's Wi-Fi. It might mean that it needs to connect to a Wi-Fi hub, or it needs to connect to a particular hub to be controlled. Now just because a device can be controlled via Alexa, again, it doesn't mean that it's Wi-Fi, because it may need some kind of hub or gateway in between it to do that. And I would give preference to devices that can be controlled by Alexa or Google Home. Now just because the device can't currently be controlled by Alexa or Google Home, it doesn't mean that it won't be controllable by Alexa or Google Home in the future. And just to finish off, some quick resources, or a resource that you might find useful. There is a written tutorial on the site if you want to read it, and there's the URL for it, and I'll put it in the video description as well. So if you've got any comments or questions, then you can always leave them below. If you like the video, then you can click the like button below, and if you want to be notified when I publish new videos, then you can always subscribe to the channel. Until next time, goodbye.